Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addicts live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case.
Dati mihi Anglican, please, verbal sloppy.
That's literally not true.
I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
All right, welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict. Good to have you here today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. It looks like everyone mostly has taken their seats. Appreciate that. It is. We're gonna have a fun day today. We've got a lot to do. We have to give the internet to be kind. First of all, I mean, like, not just we have to do it to be kind, but we have to give it to be kind. That's who it is. Right there. Be kind. We need to fix that so we can go back to where we normally live. Hold on one second. So this is going to run over there. And this. It's got to run over there. There we go. Okay. Everything's back where it goes.
Not a camel.
There we go. The music's going to fade out nicely. We've got audio up. Everything's good. The sound effects are working. Chat is on screen. There's only one more thing to do, and that is...
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day! Welcome to Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? And had a frantic moment mid-scream. Welcome to Wednesday. We're halfway there. We made it halfway through the week.
Is not relevant.
We are going to talk about things that are not relevant. We're going to talk about a few things that are relevant. Today we have a bonus. We have Sarah Boone's newest letter that we're going to go over today together. We're going to read this in full. And guess what? It's written to us. She sent us a letter. I think we're now pen pals. I think we're now pen pals. So, take that for what it's worth. I'm excited to look into this, to go over this with you. I think she sort of talks about us, at least at us, or about us to others. So we're going to see. A couple things happened this morning. I realized there was a one-month membership I missed. People have been gifting memberships like crazy. Selena K. Armitage gifted 5 Recovery Addict memberships. It looks like also Not Today Satan. I don't know why I cannot put this one up on the screen. Not Today Satan gifted 5 memberships as well. We had a 1-month message in here somewhere, and I tried to click on it, and it is not letting me. Let me see if I can trigger it. Let me go back and see if I can see it. Let's go here. I think it happened before we started the live stream, unfortunately. Man, yeah, it's not picking it up on that side either. Bummer. I am sorry about that. Whoever it was, please share your message again and say it was me. 1-month message, and I will try to read it and put it up on screen. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Let's see. Yesterday's interview was awesome. I do apologize a little bit to you guys, and I owe an apology to Solomon's people as well. I'm a new YouTuber, and I will first and foremost admit that I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, that is I'm not hiding that. I made some decisions about yesterday's live stream thinking it would help, and it did in some ways, but it also caused some unintended consequences that I was not expecting and may have been perceived as something different, and it wasn't. The unintended consequences were not intended. That's why they were unintended. But it did, in effect, sort of silence all of the people who Solomon brought to the channel. And in my naivety, I didn't think that Solomon was going to bring people to the channel that wanted to watch the interview, that wanted to watch Solomon on my channel. I thought I was bringing Solomon to you guys, and he also had people who wanted to watch as well. And worried about trolls that sometimes pop in and try to make a mess of things, especially when there's a big name on the channel like Solomon Anderson was. I shut down the chat, so you had to be a member for a day before you could chat in it. And so all the people who aren't normally followers who came to watch Solomon were silenced on the channel, and that was not my intent. So I did apologize to him, both during the live stream and you know, I think I did on another stream as well. Not another stream, but in a chat message. But great. I enjoyed the interview. Let's put it that way. It has not changed my mind. There's some things I want to go back and look at. And just make sure that my recollection is the same as that it is right now, that what I heard was what I actually heard. But I approached this, and the intent from the very beginning was to understand where the other side was coming from, to hear him out, really, to hear everything that he could, to just get a better understanding of that. And I think we did that. I think we accomplished that. I think you guys were amazing. I appreciate that. We have had different opinions. I mean, you can't get much more different in opinions from Dr. G to Solomon Anderson when it comes to Zachariah Anderson. And we've had both on the show, so it gives us some perspective. I appreciate that, and thank you all for letting me do that. I'll try to do better in the future. My mods did an amazing job as well. If for some reason, if there's somebody out there who somehow in all the mess accidentally got silenced and it's like, hey, why can't I chat? Reach out to me on the burner phone, please. I'm not aware of anyone, maybe one person who was a literal troll, who made it to the ban list and may reside there for some time. But if you ended up banned and don't know why, or just know that it may have been an accident, it may have been on purpose. Our mods were trying very careful. We're being very careful to try to keep everything friendly in chat, and so things that were maybe appeared aggressive, and realize it's hard to do that with chat, to understand the tone of something that was said, and something you might say in jest might be taken as something serious. Just understand it's in the past, all's forgiven, and we'll get this fixed as soon as possible. So big shout out to the mods. They worked overtime yesterday. Some of them actually took time off work to moderate that live stream. So big shout out to them. They did an amazing job. Thank you so much. Ven is here. Love the channel and the amazing mods. Thank you so much, Ven. Good to have you here. Good to have that courthouse in green next to your name. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Okay. We have, let's start with this. First of all, the judge in the Family Feud case is not making it easy on us. We have video of audio. So far, the judge has not let us see any of the witnesses as they testify. Now, there is some video coming out of the courtroom, but it's really chopped up. It's a lot of times we get nothing. So I'm going to be bringing stuff up a little bit, but mostly we get audio today. The good news is it's condensed. So our video from yesterday afternoon is about 54 minutes long, I think. It's much shorter. So it's a short time to put up with poor video, and we'll be able to get through this case pretty quickly. I think it's moving fast, so it's probably going to be about a week, and we'll be through this one. Michelle Mo, this channel is my favorite. Y'all are amazing. Thanks for all you do, Ari. Thank you so much. Good to have you with that 2-month green courthouse as well. Looks great. Okay. Shall we get to Sarah Boone? Let's see. Can't wait for Sarah Boone. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do Sarah Boone right here. The whole wide world. That's us. The whole wide world is us. That's the letter we're doing. JM, good to have you green again. Awesome. I think you received one of those 10 or so gifts that were handed out this morning. Yes, 8-page letter, please, says Eddie. Eddie, I saw you the other night. Good to see you out on the web. I saw you on the wild web in another channel, and a few of you were there as well. Okay. I need to fold. Oh, the letter is over here. Here's our letter. Let's go here. Okay. I think this is it. This will work well. I need to have it on the full screen so I can read. All right. No music for this one because I don't have a song that will last for 8 pages. But here we go. The letter begins, and just so you know, this is addressed to 3 people. It's addressed first. It's addressed from the 15th of this month, and it does take about a week for the court to scan things in and make it available. So it's just been posted pretty quickly. Anyway, it's addressed to Judge Wayne C. Wooten, Attorney Frank J. Bankowitz, and the whole wide world, which is us. So Sarah Boone has written us a letter, and we're going to tear through this and see what it says. First of all, I guess it's an English lesson. Perspective from the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. I wonder how many people are going to actually look up the definition to see if it's the same. The same as what? I'm not sure. I wonder also how many website hits the word perspective will get. Definition 1. The science of painting or drawing so the objects represented have apparent depth and distance. Okay, that's the art teacher perspective. Definition 2. The aspect in which a subject or its parts are mentally viewed, a view of things as objects or events in their true relationship or relative importance. I think she wants to talk about number 2. Please review so everyone has a clearer, better understanding of my continued concerns, hindrances, questions, and frustrations within the justice system, in air quotes, by the way, and the solid, absolute remissness, is that a word? Okay, Webster's dictionary, Merriam-Webster, apparently. We have to see if remissness is a word, of my case, and the due process of I am and have been waiting very patiently and maintaining what I can sense no one else has or will, it seems. And I feel at this point, 6 attorneys later, 39 months, almost 3.5 years, which I will move, and not by choice. I need to make all aware of my immense struggle with the extreme mismanagement of my case to date. Okay, I struggled on this paragraph. I've read it several times, and it may be that I am lacking in my English skills, that there's something that I just don't have. But, okay, let me turn off this right here. Sorry. I'm going to try this again, this paragraph. Please review so everyone has a clear, better understanding of my continued concerns, hindrances, questions, and frustrations with the justice system, and the solid, absolute remissness of my case and the due process of. I think there's a period there. Does it end with of? Because it then continues, I am and have been waiting very patiently and maintaining what I can, since no one else has or will, it seems. And I feel at this point, 6 attorneys later, 39 months, almost 3.5 years, which I will make, and not by choice, I need to make all aware of my immense struggle with the extreme mismanagement of my case to date. It sounds a little better when I try to break it up and interpret it, but I still don't know what she's talking about. Let's look at the bigger picture, or perspective, to get a better view. Is that what the definition was? Was it bigger picture? The aspect in which the parts are mentally viewed, a view of things in their true relationship or relative importance. Okay, true relationship, maybe that's it. Relative importance, it's bigger picture. I think we're going to go with that. We'll let her say bigger picture is the definition of perspective. To get a better view of what I've had more than enough time to see and realize. I'm hoping by doing so, eyes can finally be opened and very overdue, longed for progress and finalization can be had. The growing amass of ignorance, manipulation, slander, and advantageous gain must stop. My truth needs to be heard, and it is my right. Do not give me rights expecting me not to fully utilize them. I voted for the president and governor while here in jail, and stop violating what I've been trying to utilize or lessen the value of my capabilities and opportunities. I am not apologetic in any way for being an observant, hardworking, above-average, non-stereotypical inmate. I can only imagine, sadly, how others not as outspoken as myself have been and are being mistreated, overlooked, and dehumanized. Get it together. Thank you, T. Renee. Appreciate your continued support. 3 months. We're going to get it together. Okay, now she's going to address us individually. Judge Wayne C. Wooten. 1. At what point do you evaluate and intercede in a case to make sure there is proper advancement, regular communication between the attorney and client, ethical treatment of client is being upheld, time frames are being met, etc.? Clearly, you know of and have known of the prolongation of my difficulties from your comments regarding my letters, but with no intervention from you to change anything for a better, less problematic process. You told me in the past, when I've tried to voice my legitimate concerns to you in the courtroom, 5 times total in 3.3 years, and in my letters to save it for my next attorney. If I told anything at all, do tell, Your Honor, which attorney? I'm on my 6th, whom I'm not seen in person for over 3-month period, 12 weeks, 89 days, and counting. Frank J. Bankowitz has been appointed as my attorney by the court to represent me in my case, and it has been for 10 months and counting. Total approximate hours of representation, 7,200. Total times attorney met with client, Sarah Boone, 6. Phone numbers given to client by attorney, 2. Phone calls answered from client by attorney, 0. Outside sources calling attorney on behalf of client, 3. Phone calls, emails, voicemails answered by attorney, 0. Letters client sent to attorney trying to communicate, 7. Letters defendant/client sent to judge trying to communicate, animate attorney in unsuccessfulness, 5. 15-minute video visits between attorney and client, 3. Attended court dates scheduled, 2. One was attempted withdrawal. The other was allowance to finally be included in my PTC, which was the same information carried over from all the others. Now what? I'm going to need some water here soon. Love you. Bye. Sorry, he's leaving. Why are you allowing/enabling my constitutional rights to be continually violated? History lesson for everyone. First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Eighth Amendment, 14th Amendment. Lesson over. Why am I being judged for my legitimate letters I write in order to know the status of my case or attorney, and how much longer before something substantial occurs in the progress of 3.3 years later, other than the inappropriate prejudgments being made due to the excessive amount of my case information online, bigger and meaner fabrications of my case-sensitive details in which I have not seen, and even greater mind-numbing one-sided ignorance. If I didn't write my letters, would you or anyone be aware of my rightful concerns, still and ongoing? It is a perpetual question mark over a defendant's head. The norm during a case due to inactivity, no communication, no help or intervention, or answers being given by anyone in the justice system, ? Honestly, what has been done about or with any of my letters other than being scanned/uploaded incorrectly? I made sure to correct so everyone is up to speed on my case status. Unfortunately, it is all I have to report at this time. 4. Why are you allowing numerous case safety and protection elements to be breached, violated, and manipulated? Why has a gag order not been implemented? My case has turned into an unnecessary witch hunt from the innumerable violations of my case details being leaked and racketeered illegally in exchange for website hits, viewer ratings, etc., in exchange for money, dollar. What is your cut, Your Honor? You chose who knows what and where and how in your courtroom. When did court minutes become live? Are you the one who authorizes the upload to the internet? It's all about how much rather than how did it happen, no matter the destruction caused in the meantime, and is irreparable. It's not even about the suitcase anymore. My case is a global event with the video receiving over 3 million, that's 3 million, hits, depending on the website, in turn making me realize that's over 3 million, still 3 million, less unprejudiced, unbiased, non-discriminatory, fair jurors I will have access to on my case. How is that going to work? Now what? 5. Factoring important private details should not be made readily and available for the world to know about before I, the defendant, does. Correct? I'm going to try that one more time. Factoring, important, private details should not be made readily and available for the world to know about before I, the defendant, does. Correct. Yeah, I read it right the first time. This is wrong, unconstitutional, unfair, and not how justice is supposed to work for anyone. I'm tired of having motives attributed to me that are unreal, assumed, and inappropriate. This is not legal. 6. This is what a trial is for, correct? 7. At this point, what can even be rightfully suppressed in my case? Once you ring the bell, it cannot be unrung. It's already been heard and seen. I don't even know where the bell is or who is ringing it. I'm sorry. I don't even know where the bell is or who is ringing it. When do I, the main component in my case, actually get to know/see/hear everything everyone else already has? When am I going to be included also? When is the next status hearing?
Alex stole it.
When is the next status hearing you stated would happen before my PTZ on 7/11/23, my attorney's 1-year mark? Am I included? What else can I do to ensure the productivity, communication, incorruptibility, and appropriation and intellectualism of my case? It is my right to know so I can begin or continue for true progress of any kind to finally be succeeded. Attorney Frank J. Bankowitz. Where are you? Our last in-person was February 15th, 2023, 3 months. When is our next meeting? Remember, please, there are still time-sensitive matters pressing. FYI, in the 10 months of your representation, here are the 6 meeting dates which have occurred, so you can see prospectively the massive time gaps in between while I have been sitting eagerly waiting, wondering. 2002, July 14th. August 2nd, August 22nd, Nothing in September, nothing October, nothing November, nothing December. 2023, January 20th, February 3rd, February 15th. Nothing in March, nothing in April, nothing in May to date. Why aren't you fixing either of the 2 phone numbers you gave me upon your appointment back in July 11 of 2022? Every time I ask you about, it's a different excuse. Much progress can be had in a very expeditious manner if completed. Why has it not almost a year later? Why do you keep telling me to call when you know they don't work? As I said before, public defenders answer their calls and reply to mail. Why are you unable or unwilling? See the difference it will make. 4. Our agreement made from one of my letters I wrote earlier this year after not hearing from you in a solid 5 months prior was to connect every 2 weeks with or without any significant progress. Why have you not been upholding this agreement, even in a 15-minute video visit? Remember, a phone call is another option and not as difficult technologically. A working number is needed, just one. What are your anticipated dates of completion for anything already discussed and will eventually, when you do actually show up for an in-person scheduled meeting? There are 1,000 little fires needing to be put out. You're holding the fire hose. Please see from my perspective, there was a merch idea in there. Sorry, I was just distracted. Please see from my perspective the botched eye-rolling experience I'm going through still and how I believe anyone would act or do if in my slides doing the same. What would you do? Do not fault me in trying to make the best, most successful outcome possible for myself in every aspect in the convoluted predicament I am in and have been over the last 3.3 years. I would rather be called a narcissist, pain in the asset, I think she was trying to say asset, arrogant, strange, or whatever else anyone else wants to waste their time to think of. Just don't call me a murderer, which I am not. No one knows me except for the ludicrous insanity that's been made up, mocked, edited, and spewed all over the internet. It's not me. I'm hoping and praying my highly anticipated day will come, whenever that will be. It's God's timing. I continue to wait, smiling. At least everyone will know I'm not sitting around eating bonbons, watching soap operas. Application is the product of the lesson. Give me my chance appropriately, correctly, and fairly in court. Unfortunately, my perspective of our justice system is incredibly dim and dull. I hope my very overdue blinding light has been shown brightly for all to see a glimpse of how it really works, and being a system, we'll all have to work together to function in unison. Please help. See the difference I'm trying to be and make. Waiting and wondering, keeping it real. Now what? Sarah Boone. Whoo! Whoo! That's the letter, which we're included on. It's just what do you guys think? What's your take on this one? I'm sorry, I've missed a lot of chat here. She should have bolded that. Get it together. Let's see. She excels at everything. She says she's a great, like a model inmate, apparently. I'm learning new words. She loves adjectives and underlines and air quotes as well. I mean, I think they're air quotes. I mean, they're actual quotes on the paper, but I think if you actually heard her do it, she would say it. If she were reading the letter, she would do the air quotes. That's my take. She truly has some valid points. Yes. The fact that she's 3.5 years in, she has not hearing for her attorney, this is a problem. She may already have grounds for appeal if she loses because of this. The whole ineffectual defense, yeah, this might be what is happening right now. She's definitely not happy with what's going on and asking for more. This is the definition of a needy client. Can you imagine those calls, Goodman Law Firm, and how many calls come in on those phone numbers? And he picks it up and looks at the call already. He's like, nope, nope, I'm not going to go there. She'd probably have been a great paralegal. I think she has some skills in that line. She likes to count. Love her bullet points. The history lesson with just the list of the amendments. No in-depth spelling out what each one is and how she's been wrongfully treated regarding them. Just do the research on your own. Yes, the 6th. At some point, when you're going through all the available public defenders in your county, you've got to wonder, is it me? Right? Is it me? Ivan with the 4-month support. When you waive your right to a speedy trial, this can happen. Unfortunately, her predicament is very common once you waive that right. Love y'all. Ivan, thank you very much. The interesting point on this, she says she's never waived her right. The attorneys filed paperwork, but I don't know if she understood that she waived her right when she did, or if an attorney waived her right. Can an attorney waive your right to a speedy trial on your behalf? I thought that was a decision that you had to make yourself. Because it is one of your specific rights, not something an attorney can take away from you. Got new words for when I play Scrabble? You've got to have all the words here. Legitimate concern. She's just annoying as a net, says Grumpy. She de-animated the victim. That's one way to put it. Nightmare client of everyone, everywhere. I bet she's writing the equivalent of Comic Sans. Her writing... She does. She excels at everything she does, and her writing actually, as far as letters go, I can read it. This is good. This is good handwriting. She has good handwriting. She's not switching back and forth between left and right hands like someone else did in a recent trial. Maybe she's going for an insanity plea. I don't think so. CG, everything I can hear in this letter is like it's not about the suitcase. I didn't mean to kill him. It's not intentional. This is her entire defense. I think she can wrap up her entire defense in 3 words. She needs a hobby in jail. Maybe like making license plates is her thing. Okay. Let's see. Who knew she could be so informative and so narcissistic at the same time? This is she's definitely a handful. A lot to manage. Nurse for God, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Awesome. We're getting everybody back in green here this morning. You guys are amazing that way. Beezy, thank you very much. It helped to have the emotional support zebra here hanging from the microphone as I read that. That was useful. Blair Teague says, you pushed your boyfriend down a flight of stairs and then laughed as he begged you to let him out, and you were satisfied in mocking him. After you were satisfied in mocking him, you went to bed and he died. You killed him. That's pretty much the state's opening statement in a nutshell, Blair. I'm not sure if they're going to allege this boyfriend being pushed down the stairs. It makes sense to me as far as the injuries that we've heard that he had sustained and what he was found in, and the suitcase did get moved from upstairs to downstairs. It makes sense that he was in it when it went downstairs, and probably quickly. But yep. A highlighter pen would have been useful. I could highlight stuff, but I don't think she has a highlighter pen. Everyone has the right to a fair trial. In all honesty, she just wants to talk to her attorney and know what's going on. Eddie, yes, and this is why she'll probably get a mistrial if she's convicted, which I think she will. Now I realize we have not seen the evidence. I'm judging this based on what's in the media. I'm part of the problem, basically, that she's talking about. Honestly, we're doing a live stream on YouTube. People are watching and reading this. She calls us out specifically, but at the same time has basically said, I need to do this. I have to correct this so you guys have the right information about what's going on. So it's a two-edged sword. You can't say, first of all, they shouldn't be able to see anything, and at the same time say everyone needs to hear what's going on. It's you sort of get one with the other. If this case actually ever gets to trial, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be July 24th, and I think that date's going to hold. The judge does not respond personally to all these letters. They basically file a notice that, thank you for your letter. It's been filed. That's what she gets. And they scan it into the website so she can see that it's been received. But the judge probably does read them, does probably review these or will at some point. The gag order, that is interesting. That's the first time I've seen her ask for a gag order. She has complained many times about some of the information being available, which she thinks should not be available. She's been mad that the police released the videos, the interrogation videos, the body camera footage videos, all that. Implement a gag order on her whining. They won't do that. Cue the music, says Be Kind. We sure she isn't pen pals with Letitia? I think she's definitely watching the news and other court cases, and probably the BK case and the gag order has been very prevalent in the news recently, and it worked its way into this letter. So I think those go hand in hand. Racketeered. Yes. Can somebody define that for me? What racketeered is? And does she really does call the judge out, basically saying, "What's your cut? I know you're in on this. How much are you making off of me?" Probably not the best way to win the judge over, the hearts and minds of your enemies, it's a pretty harsh stance to take. At least we know she's been doing what she's been doing while she's been in jail. She's been counting, Dodie, unfortunately, and I feel that for her. I realize that on paper she's waived her right to a speedy trial, so we can assume, based on the court record, that she at one point said, I'm okay with not having a speedy trial. But still, 3 years is a long time to wait. And some of these delays were not directly her fault. It was just chance that, several of the lawyers assigned to her had conflicts. But some of them are her fault. Okay. Feel the same at this point. Oh, you know what you like, Sarah, says Buffy Bot. I'm fascinated by her case because it seems to me that she has reached a spot mentally that I can't get to, and I can't understand how you reach that. How you can separate your direct actions that, without any other intervention, resulted in someone's death from the guilt or from the legal responsibility or culpability in the justice system for those actions because of the result. I don't know how she does that in her head, but for her just to say, and that's all we have, is her to say that she didn't mean for him to die. I don't know how that makes it not second-degree murder. And I think there's plenty of evidence that shows that what she did was intentional, and that a rational human being would know that there would be a problem, especially based on the information she was receiving from George at the time, when she still had not left, before she had made the decision to leave him in that state. Girl, this is all about the suitcase. What? Says Carrie Burke. It's all about me. Yeah, seriously, she jumped all over the judge, and that won't go down well. But I think the judge is going to look at that and say, I've had people mad at me before. It comes with the territory. He's probably got a very thick skin. This won't be like somebody. I mean, if she had said this in open court to Judge Schrader in Wisconsin, he'd come unglued. He would come out of his chair at her. More than words would fly. I don't think this judge would do that. But still, I think the judge can read all this and see that there are some underlying concerns that are issues. And he's trying to navigate this court, or sort of umpire this whole court process to a conclusion that is just. I believe that he probably shares some of those concerns. Just a great reminder never to insult your judge or accuse them of being corrupt. It also, police officers on the side of the road, just assuming that they take bribes is probably not the best thing to do here in the United States either. There are some countries where you might have a safer bet going that route, but there are certain people you just don't want to assume that they're in on the take. I guess when you're locked up, the best way to pass your time is writing. She did not mention running out of ink or paper on these ones, but this, I believe, was the longest letter to date with 8 pages. Racket trademarks. She's super annoying, but she kind of has a point. She does, and I want to see how this plays out. I want to see how the court system resolves those concerns, because there are legitimate concerns that she's raised. How do you go about having a defense or saying I had a fair shot? I had a fair trial when I have no way to communicate with my lawyer, and they're not communicating with me. I'm trying to talk to them. I'm trying to see where it is. I want to help in my defense, which the defendant can do. Obviously, the lawyer gets a lot of say in how things are handled. They don't have to do things exactly the way the lawyer the defendant wants. But at some point, the defendant can steer the case a little bit. I mean, starting with how they decide to plea. Let's see. I don't think it's a good idea to get the judge on your bad side. It never is. It's like if you kick the referee right in the butt right before the game starts, you just wind up and just give him a big old boot to the hindquarters. And they're like, all right, let's play. You're probably going to get some fouls called on you. you're probably going to get maybe not the benefit of the doubt in some situations, and she seems to be kicking the judge, and it's not gonna go well. There needs to be some commas, and I think that we're missing a few words. I think there was, honestly, I can hear as she's writing this, in my head I hear her voice because I've watched her videos so many times, apparently 3 million times. But I can hear her voice, and I can tell she's very wound up as she's saying this. And I think she was thinking faster than she was writing, and so some words sort of disappeared in there. Made sense when she was thinking it through, but we lost a couple of the words. How do I attempt to preemptively file for a mistrial for 300, Alex, says Reverend Beasy. Yes, that's what's going on. Asking the judge if they're on the take is an interesting strategy. Let's see if it works out for her. I need some water. I'm dying here. I got brave and I spilled a drop right next to the mouse. There we go. Okay, so Aaron says this. Unfortunately, this is actually true. If she hadn't written these letters, none of us would be aware that she is receiving incredibly poor counsel. I think she's guilty. She's entitled for defense. She is. Everyone's entitled, an ardent defense. Even if they are guilty, just to make sure the state proves that what they need to prove in order to get the sentence they're seeking. Carrie, hear me out. MMI type fight. In the cage, Sarah versus Letitia. Maybe in another age in another country, that would have been one of the possible outcomes for someone accused of a crime with the fight to the death. Not here, thankfully. Not here. I'm glad I don't have to prove my innocence in a feat of strength or skill against anyone. Let's see. He needs to have the right. He needs to have time to take a breath. Is it just me, or do you picture her sitting in her cell on a metal stool, writing draft after draft of this letter, surrounded by piles of crumpled up balls of paper? A Goodman Law. I believe this was her first. I believe every single one of these is her first draft. And this might seem weird, but I actually do believe she is very good at a lot of things. She always excelled in school. I do think that that she can sit down and crank this out in one go, probably in a little bit more time, maybe twice as long the time as it took us to read it. I think she can write quickly. She is clearly writing quickly because she's leaving things out. I don't think there's a lot of the writing style of the page doesn't seem like it's stop and start and stop and start. It seems very fluid all the way through. Okay, let's see. Let's send a text to somebody saying first. Done. There you go. Okay. Please play with the world's smallest violin. All I have is sad music with a sad piano. That's the only sound I have. And honestly, I don't even think it's appropriate to play the sad music in this one, because I do agree with her on several factors. I do agree that that this has gone too long, that she is that she has the right to have some communication. The periods of time that she's gone without communication have been excessive with her lawyer. I'm not saying that they have to meet with him every week. I'm not saying the lawyer has to, regardless of if there's any update, every 2 weeks I've got to call you and we just talk, even if there's nothing to talk about. That's wrong. That's not a burden that the lawyer should have to carry. But look at the judge. The judge looked at this and said, "Hey, Mr. Bankowitz, what's going on? Why have you not contacted Sarah? What's the problem?" And he's had a couple excuses, and the judge even ordered, say, you need to contact your client by this time. So the judge recognizes that this was wrong as well. And I agree that that's a problem. And if this goes to court, with as many people are suggesting, if you look at all the videos online, the most recent videos, people are saying Sarah Boone's not getting her expert. They say they're not finding the expert they want, and we don't know for sure that. There's some speculation there. It's sort of based on the last appearance where Sarah Boone and her lawyer were in court together, and the lawyer said, look, for the $10,000 that the state's willing to pay for an expert witness, we can't find anyone who will testify on behalf of Sarah Boone. They want more money, and the judge just said, sometimes you have to go to court without the defense you want. And if you can't find anybody, you still have to just go to court. We can't just wait forever until someone comes along who will work for that amount of money. Michelle Stark says she is still remanded, not convicted. She's feeling blown off by her counsel. 3 months is a long time to be in the dark, counting molecules in your cell. Michelle, I would go insane. I don't do well. I wouldn't say I'm claustrophobic, but the restriction of being in a cell is, I can't even fathom that of what it would be like to not have freedom of movement, freedom to do what I want, to eat when I want, or what I want, or not if I so choose. It's it must be absolutely infuriating. It must be frustrating beyond belief what she's going through, and for 3 years. I agree. So things need to happen there. Let's see. Dear Judge, I locked up a guy in a suitcase until he suffocated, and I'm tired of your incompetence, says Wesley. Let's not focus on the suitcase, is what she's saying. The suitcase is not the story. It's the 3 million people who have watched the video who now are not going to be able to be fair and unbiased jurors. Looks like we got Jason Ski on the phone here.
Jason.
To accept.
Jason, Recovery Addict here. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great, and hi to everybody. I'm sorry for calling in again.
No, you're good.
I wanted to share a few comments. Is that okay, or
yes.
are you not taking calls?
Yeah, I'm not taking calls today. Just kidding. No, you're fine. You're on the phone. I saw who it was, and I answered, so you're good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you didn't have an intention to take calls.
Oh no, it's fine. I'd love to hear.
They wanted to.
We're gonna finish this up for a little bit. I'd like to hear what you have to say first before we do that. We're gonna finish it up, and then we have about an hour of video from yesterday's to watch. This is plenty. This is good.
I'll make it quick. Then I wanted to say I think there's a little more going on here because she is very intellectual. She is very good at her. This is just my guess, but based on the way she's writing these letters, and she's proving herself to be very capable of thinking things out clearly. I think there's two things. One is, yes, you don't attack the judge. That is not smart, but that's looking at it from a shallow viewpoint. Mm-hmm. There's a principle that's out there, and a lot of people use it, and that is, if you don't have enemies, make enemies, because you'll turn around and you can use your enemies. And I'm wondering if she's using that tactic. She's now putting the judge up on a pedestal to be able to prove himself as being impartial. And I don't know if you thought about that. And she may be going this route. She may be trying to get the judge ready to prove to the world that he is going to be a good judge and rule on this correctly. Or she may have a plan, need the judge to do something down the road. However, I still think it might not be the case. She may be doing something else, or she may have failed on this, and she should have not riled up the judge so early. I think.
I'm just thinking. I wonder.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, that's interesting if she's trying to do that. The judge, I don't think, has done anything that could lead to him having to recuse himself from the case. So, I mean, he's not responding.
I don't necessarily mean have him recuse himself in the case. What I mean is, once you've made an enemy, now the enemy is going to prove to you that he's not your enemy, and so he's going to rule in ways that is going to prove to her that he is being he's being fair. He's not going to fight back. He's going to do what a fair judge will do.
So would this be the equivalent?
Because he now has to prove he's not her enemy.
If we put it in a sports analogy, there are times when the coach gets out and yells at the referee. He's like, "Hey, you're not calling it fair. My guy was not doing that. It was their fault." And now the ref has to sort of feel like, man, I might have got that one wrong. I have to lean their direction. The next questionable one will probably go their way, just so I can be a fair judge, a fair referee of it.
Right, I guess that's the way to put it. Yeah, but I this is one thought that went through my head, and yeah, I had a few other things, but I'm not going to take up the line anymore. Enjoy watching, and
awesome. I love talking to you, so that's great. I appreciate it, Jason. Thank you so much.
Okay,
I'll catch you later. All right, bye. Jason sees. Thank you so much. I would not give her a phone number. I don't think she would understand the social norms, the limits of when it's okay to call. I imagine that phone call being, going off many, many times. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we've got. We're going to come right here. And that one off. Okay. All right. I shall dub her Boone Brooks Stouch for her internet name, followed by Crazy Eyes. Thank you, Mrs. H. Okay. I think we've got all the Sarah Boone done. Let me tell you where we are with this trial. Unfortunately, the judge has, going back over to the Family Feud trial, the judge has said that, guess what? We're not going to get to see all the witnesses as they testify. So we mostly get like audio only, and then occasionally we'll get a side shot of all the jurors stacked on top of each other, and it's a pool shot that everyone has put their logos on top of. So even that is very difficult to work with from my point. So we're going to listen to it. The good thing is it's about an hour long, if I remember correctly. Let me pull up the clip really quickly. And this will get us caught up to what happened last night. We'll be done with everything by then. Let's see. Videos. Hold tight. We're trying to get it ready. So are you ready to just start off with this? Unfortunately, you're just going to look at me for a little bit. So. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's turn this on and that off. Go to camera 4. Let's see. Can you guys hear this? Let's see. Nope, not yet. It's running the wrong way. EMD. There we go.
Can you tell us your name, please?
William Postal.
Mr. Postal, can you spell your name for the court reporter right here?
P as in Paul, O-S-T-L-E.
Thank you. Mr. Postal, can you tell us, are you married?
Yes.
Do you and your wife have any children?
Yes.
Tell us what children you have.
Sarah is the oldest, Becky is the youngest.
And how old was Becky before she passed away?
Let's see. She was born in 81, so whatever that.
Okay, so she was born in 1981.
Right.
Can you tell us, was Becky married?
Yes, she was.
Who was she married to?
Tim Bliefnick.
Did they have any children?
Yes.
How many children did they have?
3 children.
They were all boys, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
During the course of their marriage, did Becky buy a gun for Mr. Bliefnick, her husband?
Yes, she did.
Was that gun a CZ-75 gun?
It was.
Do you have possession of that weapon?
I do not.
Do you know when the last time you would have even seen that weapon was?
It's been over a year ago.
Mr. Postal, I want to talk to you about February 23rd, 2023, okay?
Yes.
On that day, did you get a message from Timothy Bliefnick?
I did. I got a text message from Tim.
Did you receive that at about 3:03 in the afternoon on that day?
That is the date that was on the text.
We're going to have interspersed video, but it's going to be very limited. We'll have some pictures of images on the screen,
what we've
and a
marked
little
as
bit from
people's
the courtroom,
exhibit
but it's
number
very
1.
sparse.
Can you review that and tell us what that is?
Yes. Yes, that looks like what I received.
I'm sorry, can you tell us that a little bit louder?
I say yes, that looks like the text that I received.
The text message that you received from Timothy Bliefnick
That
on
is,
February 23rd?
yes, that's correct.
Your Honor, I'd ask that People's Exhibit 1 be admitted and published for the jury.
Any objection, Ms. Schnock?
No, Your Honor.
It will be admitted and published to the jury.
Mr. Postal, you see
try
up
to show
here,
these when they post
it shows the phone number that you received that message from, and then that, which was 217-257-3666, correct?
I don't know off.
That's the number at the very top of that.
Yes, yes.
And then it was to your number, 217-242-5335.
That's correct, yes.
And I'm going to read that to you and make sure I'm reading it correctly. That text message that you received said, "Can you please call Becky and ask her to tell me when she's getting the boys today? I had them last night because she said she was sick, but she hasn't responded to any of the messages I sent today. And I don't know if she's still sick or if she's coming to get them or what's happening. I can keep the again tonight if needed, but I just need her to let me know what she wants to do." Is that what the message says?
That is what the message said.
And that's the message you received that day at 3:03, correct?
Yes, correct.
After you received that message, did you try to call Mr. Bliefnick?
Yes, I did, and I got no answer.
After you didn't receive an answer, tell us what you did.
It sounded like something that I needed to check out on my own, so I jumped in the car and drove over to the Bliefnick's house.
And where Becky was living at that time, it was at 2528 Kentucky Road?
That's correct.
Here in Quincy, correct?
Yes,
How far away do you live from Becky's house?
about 20 minutes away.
So you said you jumped in the car, so you arrived around 3:30, is that right?
Yes.
When you arrived at her house that afternoon, tell us what you did.
Before I got out of the car, I looked at the front of the house and I noticed that the front door was open. Meaning the inside door, the heavy wooden door that was there was open, and Becky always kept that closed, so it kind of set off an alarm to me. So I went into the house.
You went into the house. When you went into the house, did you see Becky?
No, I went into the house and I called her name out and I got no answers, so I walked down the hallway to the attached garage door, opened it up and looked to see if her car was there, because if she was gone, then obviously she wouldn't answer.
Was her car in the garage?
Her car was in the garage, yes.
After you saw that her car was in the garage, where did you go?
I ran up the stairs, and since she supposedly was sick, I went to the bedroom to see if she was laying down. Didn't see anything in her bedroom, went into the attached bathroom, and that's when I found her body lying on the floor.
After you found her body lying on the ground, did you realize she was dead?
She looked like she was dead, so out of reflex, I went to check to see if she had any heartbeat. I picked up her arm, but rigor mortis had already set in, and her arm was stiff. I moved one of her legs, and the rigor mortis in her leg was also keeping me from moving her. So,
what was your next thought that you needed to do?
Call 911.
Were you able to call 911 right?
I was not, because I unfortunately had left my phone at home.
Since you had left your phone at home, where did you go?
I went over to the neighbors on the east side of Becky's house.
Is
And
that where Rollo Whitey lives?
that's correct. And I asked if I could use their phone, and I called 911.
Did you also call your wife, Bernie?
Yes, I did.
And was it decided that Rollo would go get Bernie?
Yes, I believe she offered to go.
Mr. Postal, the last thing I want to show you is what we've marked as exhibit number 51.
Okay.
So we're waiting for the next audio or video clip to be
Mr. Postal, do you
sent to
recognize
us.
that picture?
Yes, that's what I saw when I looked into the bathroom.
Does that reflect how your daughter looked that afternoon of February 23rd, 2023?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that People's Exhibit number 51 be admitted and published for the jury.
Any objection? Ms. Schnock?
No, Your Honor.
It will be admitted, and you may publish it.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no other questions.
So that's not one we're going to show.
Process
They're not
not.
showing us either.
Aye.
The feed doesn't show us the gory pictures.
Your Honor, Mr. Postal, I'm sorry, I have one other question. You're talking about Becky's husband, Tim Bliefnick. Do you see him here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you tell us where he's sitting and what he's wearing, please?
He's sitting down here with a white shirt and a yellow tie.
Your Honor, the record reflects that Mr. Postal has identified the defendant, please.
The record will reflect that the witness has identified, excuse me, the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor. No other questions.
Ms. Schnock?
Thank you. Mr. Postal, are you absolutely certain that Tim did not answer your call the afternoon of February 23rd?
Yes.
Okay. So would it be correct that he did not instruct you to go to Becky's house that afternoon, but that was a decision that you made on your own accord?
He said something to the effect that it needs to be checked out.
Okay, so did you talk to Tim?
No, it was in a text.
Okay. And when you went up to the bedroom and you found Becky in the bathroom, were her pants ripped in the crotch area in that when you found her as they were in that picture that was shown just up there?
I don't recall.
Okay. Would you agree that the way that she was found in that picture, you did not disturb her in any way, correct?
No, like I said, I tried to pick up her arm and I did move her leg.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. No other questions.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may step down, sir. Yeah, it doesn't. I tried to blank it, but it wouldn't blank for me.
We have lots of hot mics in this courtroom as well.
Call your next witness.
Judge, the people would call Rollo Whitey.
Ma'am, if you would step up to the front of the courtroom, raise your right hand, and then be sworn by the clerk.
We've got audio only right now. Occasionally they'll give us video feeds. So this is
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Okay, if you'll come around
it's only
here.
about 40 more minutes. And that's all we have until we get the
And then have a seat right here in this
video.
chair.
All right.
Scoot up to the table to where you're comfortable, ma'am. And then you can bend that microphone so it's in front of you, and please speak towards the microphone.
Okay.
All right? You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you tell me your name, please?
Rolla Wyke,
How do you spell your last name?
W-I-K-E.
Miss White, where do you live right now?
I live 2536 Kentucky Road on the east side of the Bliefnick home.
That was going to be my next question. So you're neighbors with the police?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
47 years.
This happened this year, DSM. Murder was in February.
In those 47 years, when, if you remember, did the Bliefnicks move into the house next to you?
Approximately, I'm going to say 3 years ago, when the youngest one was about 2.5.
And while you were next door neighbors, did you talk to Becky from time to time?
Yes,
Did you talk to Tim from time to time?
occasionally. He was much quieter.
Is the person you know as Tim Bliefnick the person that you talk to occasionally here in court?
Yes.
Can you point him out and describe what he's wearing?
Sitting over there, looks like I don't know if it's a white shirt or a gray and yellow tie.
We'll ask the record reflect you've identified this thing.
The record will reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
We have sparse video.
I want to go forward a little bit to February 23rd, 2023, around 3:30.
Changing audio.
Were you at home at that time?
Yes.
Around that time, was there a knocking on your door?
Doorbell rang first, and then a pounding on the door. By the time I answered the door, I didn't see anybody, but then I saw a man walking away. He had a long coat, so I didn't recognize him, and I asked him if he wanted something, and he turned around, and it was Bill, Becky's father.
Bill Postal?
Yes.
Had you met Bill Postal before?
Yes.
And did you know him?
Yes.
You said that he was walking away. You asked him if he needed anything.
Yes.
What happened next?
He said, I need to use your phone, call 911, Becky's dead.
Did you allow him into your house?
Yes.
And did he in fact call 911?
Yes. He used my landline phone, which is a wall phone in the kitchen. And
After he called 911, did he do something else? Did he call someone?
yes, he wanted to call his wife, and I gave him my cell phone. He had been laying on the table. I had been charging it, so I just gave him the phone number, and he dialed my cell phone.
After he spoke with the other person on that cell phone, did you offer to do something?
Yes.
What did you offer to do?
Well, she was, his wife, Bernadette, wanted to drive up to Quincy. He didn't want her to drive. And so I said I would go get her and bring her back up.
We will have more video.
Well, no, he wanted to go back over to Becky's house, and he said he'd write the instructions on how to get to their house, because they lived in the country south of Marblehead. And so we went over there, and he wrote the instructions. I came back, got in my car, and left to pick her up.
As you picked up Bernie, his wife,
Yes.
and you were driving back to Quincy,
Yes.
Did Bernie make a phone call?
Yes, she made 2.
Okay, I want to talk about one phone call.
Okay.
Did she make a phone call that you overheard?
Yes, the first call.
And who was that to?
That was to Tim. She said, I have to call Tim.
When she was on the phone, was the phone up by her ear? Was it in front of her face?
No, she was holding it in her hand like this.
And you could hear the voice on the other
Yes.
side of that phone?
Yes.
Was it a voice that you recognized?
Yes.
Was it the voice of the defendant?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What did you hear the defendant say in that conversation with Bernie when you picked her up on the afternoon of the 23rd of February 2023?
Well, she told him what happened, that Becky was found dead, and that he said, what? And then she said some other things I don't remember, but he said, well, the school had called him because Becky didn't pick up the boys, and so they called him.
He said that the school had called him?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all the questions I have.
Okay.
They fly through witnesses here.
Ms. White, how long would you say that you've known Mr. Bliefnick?
Well, I met him when he first moved in, approximately 3 years ago.
Okay. And do you live directly next to Becky, or was there a house that separated?
No, I lived directly.
Okay. And would you have been home the night of February 22nd going into the morning of February 23rd?
Yes.
And did you hear or see anything unusual
No.
that evening? Okay. And when you overheard the conversation between Bernie and Tim, he was surprised to hear the news, correct?
Objection, speculation?
That will be sustained. I'll ask you to rephrase that question, Ms. Schnutt.
And it's your best recollection that Tim's response to Bernadette was what?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything that you observed in the neighborhood on February 22nd or 23rd that was unusual?
No.
Okay. And you did not see Tim at Becky's house anytime February 22nd or 23rd, correct?
No.
No other questions, Judge?
Mr. Jones, any redirect?
No other questions. We would release Ms. Wyke from her subpoena, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, you may step down. You're free to go.
Okay, thank you.
I've confirmed with the defense there's no objection to her being released.
We're almost a third of the way through the video for yesterday, so we're moving through this very fast.
Call your next witness.
Video is edited.
People would call Roberta
Trimmed.
Hudson to the stand.
The defendant he's in the top left corner of this picture and the bottom right hand corner. You can identify him by his 24601 name tag. He's also the closest person in the picture. When they do show us a picture of the courtroom, he's the closest one to the camera, I believe. So he's on the close end. He's not the bald one.
Ma'am, if you could step up to the front of the courtroom.
I'll show you everything that I can.
And then raise your right hand and be sworn by the clerk.
Right now I just have a full screen of a news logo.
Before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help God.
If you could step up here, ma'am. Come around here and have a seat right here in this chair. And then scoot up to the table to where you're comfortable. And then if you could bend that microphone bends, make sure it's in front of you and speak towards the microphone, please. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you tell me your name?
Roberta Hudson.
And Ms. Hudson, I'm going to have you get a little bit closer to the mic because I'm standing over here and I'm having a hard time hearing you. So one more time. Can you tell me your name?
Roberta Hudson.
Try one more time. Hold that microphone.
Roberta Hudson.
There we go.
There we go.
Can you spell your last name for me?
Hutson.
Ms. Hudson, what do you do for a living?
I'm a secretary
At what school?
St. Peter's School
How long have you done that?
for 8 years.
In the 8 years that you've been the secretary of the school, do you know some of the parents and the children there?
Yes.
Specifically, do you know Becky and Tim Leafy?
Yes.
Have you met them before?
Yes.
And they had 3 little boys, right?
That is correct.
And those boys went to St. Peter's School?
Yes, they do.
And what were the names of the little boys?
Deacon, Grayson, and Arlen.
I want to talk to you about February 23rd, 2023. Okay?
Yes.
You are the school secretary, you told us. Is that right?
Yes.
On February 23rd, 2023, did you call Tim Bliefnick and report any issues at school?
No.
To your knowledge, did anyone at St. Peter's call Tim Bliefnick?
Not to my knowledge.
In fact, did you receive a phone call from Tim Bliefnick?
Yes, I did.
And about what time did you receive that phone call?
11:51.
What was the nature of that phone call? What did Mr. Bliefnick say to you?
He said he was unable to get in touch with Becky, and he knew the boys were going to be walking home, and he told me that he would be picking them up instead of having them walk home.
Was that unusual to you in this sense? Before February 23rd, 2023, did the defendant or Becky Bliefnick regularly call you and talk to you about how the boys were going to get home?
No.
On February 23rd, 2023, did the defendant, in fact, come to St. Peter's to pick up the children?
Yes, he did.
Are there cameras at St. Peter's in the parking lot, or the view part of the parking lot?
Yes.
And did you get a chance to look at those videos?
Yes.
When you watch those videos, do those videos show the defendant arriving at St. Peter's School?
Yes.
And approximately what time did he arrive at St. Peter's School on February 23rd, 2023?
1:50.
What time is dismissal at St. Peter's School?
2:47.
So about an hour before the dismissal even began.
Yes.
On February 23rd, 2023, when the defendant arrived, what was he driving?
A CRV, Honda CRV.
Do you remember what color it was?
A rust red, orange kind of color.
On February 23rd, 2023, when the defendant arrived about an hour early for pickup, were there any other parents in the parking lot waiting that early?
No.
The day before, on February 22nd, 2023, did the defendant arrive an hour early?
No.
The person you know as Tim Bliefnick, is he here in court today?
Yes.
Could you identify him?
Sitting at the table with the yellow tie.
We'd ask that the record shows the witness has identified the defendant.
The record will reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
And if I could approach the witness.
You may.
Ma'am, I'm going to hand you what's been marked as People's Exhibits 2 and People's Exhibits 3. It's 2 CDs. The first one says St. Peter's arrival, and the second one says St. Peter's departure. Is that right?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity? You've seen the video on both of those, correct?
Yes, I have.
And can you tell us what that video shows in general? What's it a camera of? Not specifically, but in general, what it shows?
It shows our parking lot and the students entering, the cars entering the parking lot, the students entering the building or leaving the building.
When you watch that video, there's a timestamp on that video?
Yes.
Is that timestamp correct?
It's off by 18, 20 minutes.
And you know that because you know what time dismissal is?
That's correct.
And so if the dismissal video shows, let's say 2:30 on it, you know that that's not what dismissal is?
That's correct.
So the videos are off of the time by about 20 minutes?
Yes.
Other than that, are there any other issues with the video? Were the video working correctly?
No. Not.
That's a bad question.
Okay.
Try it again. Ask me 2 questions.
Okay.
Other than the timestamp, were there any other issues with the video?
I don't understand your question.
Were the videos working right?
Yes, they were. Okay.
I guess not talking about the lawyers. Judge, I asked that People's Exhibits 2 and 3 be introduced into evidence and be published in the...
We should be able to see these.
Ms. Stock, any objection?
Here we go. We've got the
Court
video.
will admit 2 and 3, and they may be published to the jury.
For the record, Your Honor, I will first play People's Exhibit 2, and then I may ask... Thank you.
Here it is. Looks like security camera footage from the school. Got a timestamp in the corner. That's the one that was 20 minutes off, I believe.
We've now watched People's Exhibit 2. Ms. Hudson, the rust color SUV that you talked about, is that what we see here on the upper left-hand corner?
Yes.
And the time here says 13:33:49. You shared with us that in normal person time that's 1:30, but it's actually 1:30 or 1:53, give or take.
Normal
Give or take.
person time. Normal person time. It's a technical term.
For the record, I am now showing People's Exhibit 3 on the screen. And ma'am, the time on there shows 14:32:12. Again, normal person time, that would be 1:32, but as you shared with us, I'm sorry, 2:32. And as you shared with us, it's about 20 minutes off, so it's
Yes.
2:50, give or take.
Yes.
My picture has to be here for strategic reasons. Sorry, guys.
Orange or red rust color SUV leave at about that time, is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you,
I think
that's
you
all
can
the
move it
questions
right
I have.
here.
If I got just a moment, we'll run the screen.
You may. All right, Ms. Schnock.
Ms. Hudson, as far as your conversation with Tim the morning of February 23rd is concerned, there was nothing abnormal about that conversation, correct?
No.
Okay. And as far as, let's take a step back. How many students attend St. Peter's approximately?
466.
And I assume correctly that St. Peter's frowns upon parents leaving their children at school at the end of the day.
They fixed the issue.
I don't know what you're asking.
Does St. Peter's expect their parents to pick their children up on time at the end of the school day?
Yes.
Okay. And does the school tend to frown upon parents leaving children at the end of the day without appropriate transportation arrangements? You want kids to have somewhere to go at the end of the day and not be
Yes.
stuck at school.
That is correct.
That causes a lot of problems for faculty, for staff, and for the kids especially, correct?
For their safety.
Absolutely. So if parents have issues picking up their kids at the end of the day, does St. Peter's appreciate them communicating with that sooner rather than later?
Yes.
And why do you do that?
For their safety.
All right. So there is nothing unusual about a parent calling the school and making arrangements for their children to get picked up at the end of the day. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Debbie, I cannot check the burner phone right now.
Redirect Mr. Jones.
Before February 23rd, 2023, had this defendant called you to make special arrangements for the boys any other time?
No.
That's all the questions I have.
You may step down.
So that's the end of that feed here just for a second. I need the burner phone for something else I'm doing right now.
She released from her subpoena.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, the people would release her from her subpoena.
Any objection, Ms. Schnock?
Not to that, Your Honor, no.
Okay, you may go. And before we call the next witness, we need to switch out this chair so we have one with rollers so it can be moved.
Look at this. That's the witness chair where that wouldn't get up to the microphone, close enough to the mic. So they're going to switch it out. This judge is on it. We're going to get great audio throughout this.
And then Mr. Jones, your next witness.
People would call Brian Lash to the stand.
Judge's rules. We cannot, right now the judge is not allowing us to show any of the witnesses. So I'll show what we're able to. Right now I just get a splash screen from a news agency that was filming this. And I can't just have that on the screen because I'd get a strike.
Sir, if you could step up to the front of the courtroom, raise your right hand, and then be sworn by the clerk here.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you may give, the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Okay, now if you could come around here and have a seat right here in this chair.
This is pool footage shot by WGEM
Where
TV.
you're comfortable, and then bend that microphone so it's in front of you, and please speak towards the microphone. You may inquire.
Can you tell me your name?
Brian Lash.
And Mr. Lash, can you spell your last name for the court reporter?
That's Lash.
Mr. Lash, what do you do for a living?
I own a cafe, Crazy Cakes, just right down the street here.
Right down the street?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Lash, I don't need your specific address, but what road do you live on here?
Kentucky.
Do you live across the street from anyone?
Yeah, directly across from Becky.
You live directly across from who?
Rebecca.
Is that Becky Bliefnick?
Yes.
How long have you lived at that house on Kentucky Road?
3 years.
I want to move forward then to the morning of February 23rd, 2022, okay?
Okay.
That morning, what time did you get up?
I'm up at about 5:30 every morning, give or take.
To get to work?
I left for work about 6:45, 6:50, something like that.
When you left for work around 6:45 or 6:50, did you notice anything unusual across the street?
The front door was open, I noticed.
Why did you think that was unusual?
So I've never even seen anybody go in or out that door, ever. So it just was weird that it was open to me.
In the 3 years that you were living there, you'd never seen that front door open?
I never saw anyone go in or out that door ever. They always went out either through the garage or the side door by the garage.
Video's coming. Hang on.
Thank you, Mr. Lash. That's all the questions I have.
Ms. Scott, questions?
Were you home the evening of February 22nd?
At what time?
Well, at all?
Yeah,
Okay, what time would you have gone to bed that night?
probably between 11 and midnight, maybe.
Okay.
Give or
Did
take,
you-
I don't know.
Okay, did you see anything unusual before you went to bed that evening? Did you see or hear anything unusual after you went to bed that evening?
No,
Okay, there was nothing that woke you up or you never heard a disturbance, correct?
did not.
And the morning of February 23rd, other than seeing the front door open, did you see or hear anything unusual?
I didn't see or hear anything, no. I just thought it was weird that the door was open.
Okay, and you didn't see Tim anywhere in the Kentucky Road neighborhood?
No.
Okay. No other questions, Judge?
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You may step down.
Thank you.
Would release him from his subpoena, Your Honor.
Any
We're getting just
objection to
little
releasing him
snippets of
this
video.
time?
Sorry.
All right. You are free to go. Thank you, sir.
That was Brian Lash, the neighbor. All he testified was the door was open.
Next witness.
Or the people would call Amy Schmiedeskamp.
Okay, we're 3/4 of the way through the video, so we're almost done. Like through all the video from yesterday afternoon. Actually, this might be the morning. I'm trying to remember.
Ma'am, if you could step to the front of the courtroom. And then raise your right hand and be sworn by the clerk.
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you give will cause nothing before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Then if you can come around here and have a seat right here in this chair. And scoot up to the table to where you're comfortable. And then bend that microphone so it's in front of you and please speak towards the microphone, all right? Okay. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you tell us your name, please?
Amy Schmiedeskamp.
I'm going to have you talk a little bit louder. The mics don't do a great
Yes,
job.
my name is Amy Schmiedeskamp.
Thank you. Can you spell your last name for us, please?
SCHMIEDESKAMP.
Thank you.
It's a doozy.
Ms. Schmiedeskamp, where do you live?
2420 Kentucky Road.
Are you familiar with Becky Bliefnick?
Yes.
Where is your house in relationship to her house?
I believe it's 5 houses down.
Do you also have a neighbor by the name of Ray Bliefnick?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ray Bliefnick, does he have a son?
Yes.
Who is his son?
Tim Bliefnick.
Do you know Mr. Tim Bliefnick also?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to speak a little bit louder.
If you bend that microphone back.
Yes, I do know Tim Bliefnick, yes.
Do you see Tim Bliefnick here in court today?
Yes,
Can you tell us where he's sitting and what he's wearing, please?
right here, light shirt, light tie.
Your Honor, the record could reflect Mr. Peterson has identified the defendant.
The record will reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
Now, Mr. Peterson, you told us that one of your neighbors is Ray Bliefnick, who is
Put an extra K in her name.
Yes. Mhm.
Where is Ray Bliefnick's house in relationship to yours?
It sits right to the left side of my house.
So next door.
Yes,
And are you also familiar with Becky and Tim Bliefnick's 3 children?
yes.
Had the children at the time of Becky's death been visiting at Ray's house?
No,
When was the last time that you had seen the 3 children at Ray's house before she died?
I can't remember the last time.
Over 1 year?
Yes.
Over 2 years?
It's been a long time, I can't remember.
But you know it was over a year.
Yeah.
On the morning of February 23rd, 2023, did you see the defendant, Tim Bliefnick, come over to his father Ray's house?
Yes.
About what time was that, you know?
So looking back, it would had to have been between like 7:30 and 9. I drink my coffee every morning in my sunroom, and I just was walking into my sunroom and just saw him get out of his car and take a little Tykes basketball hoop up to the house, drop it off, and leave.
And you know that because you drink your coffee at the same time every morning, sometime between 7:30 and 9.
Depending on my morning schedule, yes.
At that point, had you heard or did anybody know that Becky Bliefnick had died?
No.
Here comes the video.
Mr. Phoenix Camp, you said that he brought the little Tykes basketball hoop. Can you tell us who he was?
Tim.
The defendant.
Mm-hmm.
No other questions. Thank you.
Questions, Ms. Schneider?
Thank you. Ms. Schmiedeskamp, you didn't find it unusual to see Tim at his dad's house, correct?
Correct. We don't see him there often, but we do see him.
Okay, and there was nothing unusual to you about that morning, is that fair?
Fair.
Okay, and were you home the evening of February 22nd?
I don't remember.
Okay, did you sleep at home that evening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did you hear anything unusual that evening?
No.
Did you see anything unusual that evening?
No.
Did you see Tim anywhere in your neighborhood that evening?
No.
No other questions, Judge?
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may step down.
Your Honor, I'd ask that Ms. Schmiedis can't be released from her subpoena, please.
All right. Any objection to releasing her, Ms. Schneider?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You're free to go, ma'am.
Your Honor, the people would call Cecilia Gervais.
This judge, we don't know how the video is going to be today. The judge might allow a little more. I think the courtroom videographer is not clear on what he's allowed to film and what he's not. So it's a little frustrating. Hopefully today's footage, which has not been released yet, will be better.
Ma'am, if you could step to the front of the courtroom, please. And if you could raise your right hand and be sworn by the clerk.
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you give in the cause and opinion before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Okay, and then if you could come around here, please.
More video
You got a
incoming.
seat right here in this chair. And if you could kind of scoot up to the table to where you're comfortable, and then bend that microphone so it's in front of you and speak towards the microphone, please. You may inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Can you tell us your name, please?
Cecilia Gervais.
And I'm going to have you spell your first and last name.
Okay.
Court reporter.
CECELIA-GERVAIS.
And you go by Celia, is that right?
Correct.
Ms. Gervais, where do you live?
St. Peters, Missouri.
How long have you lived in St. Peters?
Since 2016.
Did you live in the Quincy area for a while?
I did.
while you lived in the Quincy area, did you become friends with a person named Becky Bliefnick?
I did.
Tell us when you met Becky.
2012, I joined Q-Town CrossFit, where she was one of the owners.
And did you become close friends?
Yes,
Back, I think Becky was in your wedding, is that right?
she was.
Sealy, you said that you live in St. Peter's, Missouri. Who do you live with?
My husband, Brandon.
The week leading up to February 23rd, that Sunday, did Becky come to stay with you and Brandon?
She did.
Why did she come to stay with you guys?
She was having a procedure done in St. Peter's.
Did you know what kind of procedure she was having done?
Vaguely, yes.
You said vaguely. What did you know?
An abdominal surgery.
And when was the procedure scheduled for?
Monday morning.
So you said she came and stayed with you on Sunday, is that right?
Correct.
And what time did she arrive?
I picked her up at 3:30 or so in Hannibal. We arrived at my house around 5:15.
What did you do that evening?
We went to eat dinner at Red Robin, and then we went to Walmart to pick up a few things and came straight back to the house after that.
Then she spent the night with you that Sunday night?
Correct.
The next morning, did you take her to her surgery?
I did.
When did she get done with that?
It was about mid to late morning. I think they called me at like 11 or 12.
When you picked her up, where did you take her?
Straight back to my house.
Did she spend the night with you Monday night?
She did.
Was that planned?
Yes.
Was that so you and your husband could help her out after her surgery?
Yes.
Tell us what Becky's physical condition was after her surgery.
She was in a lot of pain, hunched over from the surgery. She needed help walking up the stairs to get to the bedroom.
That evening, Monday evening, before February 23rd, did you yourself start to feel sick?
I did.
Because of that, the next morning, did you drive Becky back home to Quincy?
I did not.
Who drove her back to Quincy?
My husband, Brandon.
During that time that Becky was with you, did she use a purse to pay at Red Robin or to get around?
She did not.
Where did she keep her credit cards and things to pay with?
They were in a slot on the back of her phone case.
The next morning, after your husband drove Becky home, did you hear from Becky?
I did.
When was that?
It was around like 12:30 or so, I think.
And was that a phone call or a text message?
She sent me a text message.
Was that just that she was back home?
Yep.
And was that the last time you ever heard from Becky?
Yes.
I don't have any more questions, Celia. Thank you.
Your Honor, I don't have any questions for this witness.
You may step down.
Thank you.
They turn off the cameras so that when the witness walks back across the courtroom, they're not accidentally filmed, but they don't.
Okay, any objection to releasing her, Ms. Stock?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're released, ma'am. You're free to go or stay. And call your next witness.
Your Honor, the people would call Brandon Gervais, please.
Both the defense and the prosecution are sitting at one long table. They sort of have one open seat in the middle. You'll see them walk around. There's no aisle in the center. It's a unique setup. It's a little hard to see with the limited coverage they're giving us.
Sir, if you could step to the front of the courtroom, then raise your right hand and be sworn by the clerk.
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you give in the cause now pending before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
5 more minutes, and we're done with this video. It's going
Have a seat
fast.
in that chair, kind of scoot up to the table to where you're comfortable, and then bend that microphone so it's in front of you, and please speak towards the microphone. Sure. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you tell us your name, please?
My name's Brandon Gervais.
And can you spell your last name just like the witness we just heard?
Yes, Gervais.
Mr. Gervais, you are married to Celia Gervais, is that correct?
Yes,
Do you guys live in St. Peters, Missouri?
yes,
Do you know Becky Bliefnick?
yes.
Did Ms. Bliefnick come and stay with you the Sunday before February 23rd?
Yes.
Can you tell us why she stayed with you?
Yeah, she had a surgery that she was going under on the morning, that Monday morning. Sorry, I don't know my dates, but that Monday morning. And then she stayed at our house for recovery before her post-op appointment on Tuesday morning.
Who took her to that post-op appointment on Tuesday morning?
I did.
Why did you take her to that appointment?
My wife fell ill on Monday, and because she was in her post-operative state, she didn't want to get her sick, so I decided that I would take her.
You said you took her to that post-op appointment on Tuesday morning, February 21st.
Thank you.
That morning, after you took her to that appointment, did you realize that you had left her bags back at your house?
Yeah, I think she had left her overnight bag on the in the bathroom, and so I went back and got her bag while she was in her post-op appointment because the doctor's office is 5 to 10 minutes from our house, and so I assumed that while she was in the post-operative appointment that I'd be able to get home, get the bag, and come back to be able to pick her up in time.
After you got the bags for her, did you go back to pick her up?
Yes,
Where did you take her?
and then I took her to her house
Here in Quincy?
in Quincy. Mm-hmm.
When you got there, did you help her get inside?
Yes.
Was she able to carry her bags inside?
No, I carried her bags inside.
Do you remember what types of bags did she have?
Yeah, she had a backpack. I think she was taking some of her classes for nursing school, so she did some of that at our house while she was there. So she had I think it was a gray North Face backpack, and then a gray Under Armour duffel bag that she had her belongings in.
What time did you drop her back off on Tuesday morning?
It was about 11 o'clock.
After you dropped her off, did you leave and head back to St. Peters?
Actually, we had my in-laws' car. My wife was home the weekend prior, and so we had their car so that we could swap car seats. So our children were in Monroe City, and so I had to drive to Monroe City and pick up our children before driving back to St. Peters.
Things you do with kids.
That's right.
No other questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Stark.
Thank you. Just one question. When you dropped off Becky at her home that morning, there was no hesitation that you observed from her going home or being home. Is that fair?
No, I carried her bags in and put them on the couch. It was the first couch in the entryway there. But no, she went in and said she was just going to rest for the afternoon. I let her know that if she needed anything that she could reach out, but I did not hear back from her after I dropped her off at her house.
All right, thank you. No other questions, Judge.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may step down.
Thank you.
Judge, if we could release him from his subpoena, Your Honor.
All right, any objection to releasing him, Ms. Stark?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you are released. You're free to go or stay.
Can we approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Just about at the end of the video for the day here. You can almost hear what's going on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, sometimes we discuss really important things up here. The witness schedule is that the people don't have witnesses scheduled yet this morning, so we are going to take our lunch now. So that's what we discuss sometimes, when's the appropriate times to break. So we are going to break now. We are going to get lunch. We will start again at 1 o'clock. So I'd ask that you be back in the jury room by quarter till or 10 till 1, so we can start right at 1 o'clock. And again, lunch will be on your own, and you're free to go wherever you wish then.
And that's the end of the video. That's all we've got so far. Let's see. So we're hoping that the judge gets everything squared away, but the next video has not dropped. So that was yesterday. No free lunch. No, you're on your own for lunch. We're hoping that it gets this squared away. Unfortunately, the judge sort of threw us under the bus, restricting the video the way he did at the last minute. So we're hoping it gets fixed. I'm still waiting for word on that because the case is going forward, but we're waiting for video to drop. So this is where we're at. I have to wait for the next video before we can proceed. It went fast. Now we're caught up. Great. We're still half a day behind, just over half a day behind. Today is yesterday's tomorrow. Thank you, Clone Bender, for clarifying that. Savis Gunn, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. It's awesome to have 5 more people here. Let's see who gets a membership here. Grandma Nancy, there's one. Blackbird Speaks, congratulations. The one who sees. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. The new letter from Sarah Boone. We covered that first thing this morning. We read that together. Great letter, 8 pages, just fantastic. Casey Smith and Jan and Jim all gifted memberships. Thank you very much, Savis Gunn, for those. And they have like a 6-hour lunch. What does silent plea mean? Color Me Abstract, are you talking about the Brian Koberger where he stands mute? There, let me switch to a camera. You can see me. There we go. I will tell you, completely not unrelated, talking about things that are not related or relevant, that I had today for the first time, the worst, my dreaded fear happened here in my studio. And that was that while I'm here on camera, I could see a bug on the wall that was maneuvering into position to be visible to everyone else. And we do a great job at making sure bugs stay outside and people live inside. But this bug has somehow made it into the house, and it was a huge bug. And so I literally, when I changed to a close-up of me, it's because I could not get up and fix the bug issue, the live bug issue, without interrupting the stream. And now I don't know where the bug went. And so I'm looking all over. It was over there. It was climbing up the curtain. Nasty bug. We live in the South. Those who are here know what kind of bugs we live with outside, but we rarely let them inside. So I'm now looking for a very large bug that might eat me if it gets to me. So if you see it in the background, I'm going to need somebody to trigger a mod with the burner phone, the buffer noise, so I can kill it. I will get we have Raid. You know what Raid is? The spray, Raid. And other parts of the world, in other parts of the country, they use Febreze in rooms. Here in the South, we use Raid instead of Febreze, and we just buy it in different scents. And so you can spray, lavender or lemon, or all those sorts of flavors, and instead of Febreze. It's like the Febreze of the South. I'm not trying to compete. But this bug was big enough. Let's say probably 2 inches. 2 inches. It's almost a new pet. We're on Bug Watch. Marie, thank you. I've got to go find it. I have to end the stream and find this. I kill every bug that makes it in the house. And summertime's the worst because they all want to come in because it's nice and cool out here and it's hot out there. And, with a house built in 1915, it was basically built out of Swiss cheese as far as perforations go. So we're constantly fighting to keep the bugs out. Yeah. Living back in the West, we did not have these types of bugs. They have various names. I'm not going to go into the details, but we had spiders out West. We do not have the spiders here, and maybe that's why we have the bugs the size they are here, because we rarely get any spiders. In the South, we mean business. You must be talking about a palmetto bug or palmetto bug. So have these bugs officially replaced your bees from the early days of the channel? Sort of. Although there's some bees. If you look right here, I've got this camera is doing a little tricky thing. It's a little bit of flickering going on. Not sure what. If you see the bug, you'll see it, because if it's climbing up the curtain will be swaying with the weight of the bug on the curtain. Just imagine a miniature Godzilla with 6 legs. That's what you're watching for. Palmetto State Bank. Does bug fly? Yes, bug flies. Bug flies. I'll tell you that here in the South, they call them water bugs. I've always known them by some other name. They fly. They can live through a nuclear bomb. They are incredibly...
Smiling face with hearts, dog face, red heart, good morning, Scott. Ruff, ruff, I will lend you my fly swatter. My human said it is okay. Ruff, 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 ruff.
We might need a live catch trap for this one. Fly swatter would have to be industrial strength. It was a big bug. And now we have to end the stream, and I'm yes, you guys are close. Yes, not quite a cricket. We do get some cave crickets, actually, because we have a space under the house, a crawl space that's always dark and cold.
Bug spray fund.
Bug spray fund. Weather watch. Thank you. We'll find a new scent. One of the new scents. We've got plenty of lemon and lavender, but I need a new variety that we can find. The bug talk is freaking me out. You guys are. I imagine you all are sitting wherever you're watching. You're like looking around the room just to make sure you also are not have a bug that's stalking you. Without your knowledge, it's happening. Okay, I have to admit I'm getting very worried as the next installment of this feed is not dropped from yesterday afternoon. I'm getting nervous, so I'm gonna do some research on lunch. I'd hate to have led you down a course where we don't get to see the conclusion.
Alex stole it.
But that's I'm not liking it. You don't need a bug spray. You need an animal catcher. We're constantly maintaining the outside of the house to make sure that there's nothing outside the house that encourages the bugs to live around the house, and that helps a great deal to make sure they don't get in the house. But I think at this point a cat could probably catch it, because it's very much like a mouse as far as size, speed, and danger. Check around your feet. I'm trying not to look, Nurse God, because once I start looking, I'll be like, yep, I need to keep checking there, and I'll constantly be looking under the table. I will find it. I'll find it. If I have to bug bomb the entire room, the entire studio, I'm very strict that there is no food that's brought in here other than what I eat, and I spill 0 crumbs and clean up constantly. So I don't want anything to attract any critters in the studio. But
there's a lawsuit.
I've never seen so many scary bugs before, says Pax Gaming. There are a few bugs out and about. There really are. You need a flip-flop. Check your mug. Mad. Yes, I will look in the mug before I drink. Bug looks like a stick. Freaks me out. We have amazing birds out here. For those that I grew up in the Mountain West, and we have the birds you'd have like a little we call them chickadees. It's like a little tiny little bird, flies really fast. We have hummingbirds, the ruby-throated hummingbirds. We have robins, magpies. Let's see, some of the rare ones that were really cool was like a western tanager. Occasionally, you'd have a woodpecker. Usually a smaller type of woodpecker. Just something like that. Moving out to the east, I got a whole new slate of birds. We still have the robins. We still have the, as everywhere does, we've got the starlings. But no magpies. Instead, we pick up cardinals, like red cardinals. We pick up the mockingjay, which is just an amazing bird. If you've never heard one, they just, early in the morning, they'll just go through the full repertoire of every sound they know. And it's crazy. It's really cool to listen to them. But we have some cool birds. A lot of doves, and they like to nest right outside my house. We have some bushes, some shaped bushes, and they'll nest right out there. And it's right next to people. And I'm not sure if they like to be near us or if they're using us to defend the nest. But we also have massive vultures that sit up on the water tower in town. And they'll just sit there in the morning. They'll spread out their like 6-foot wingspan and just sun themselves, just soaking in the heat. All right, on that note, we're all ready for lunch now that we're all thinking about bugs. If I ever see a spider in my boat, I'm petrol bombing my boat and sinking it. At that point, yeah, it's not worth keeping, Danny. You can't save a boat once there's a bug in it. We have a woodpecker that's pecking all the rain gutters on like a machine gun first thing in the morning, and they start early. Be kind. Be kind, by the way, you did a great job with the internet today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you see an ivory-billed woodpecker, you could get $50,000. Ivory-billed woodpecker. Let me show you the woodpecker we saw on our campout. Hold tight just one second. We did see a woodpecker, and I've never seen one like this. Maybe I get $50,000. Let's see, where was the picture? Right here. Okay, so I'm going to send this to my phone or to my computer real quick. We'll put it up on the screen. You guys tell me if this is my $50,000 ivory-billed woodpecker. I don't think it is. I'm not optimistic. Show and finder. It's taking forever to load. There we go. Oh, it's sideways. Sorry, hold tight, guys. We've got to fix that. Edit. Send it again. This is worth waiting for. You guys are, this could be a $50,000 bird. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Ready for this? There's the bird. Is that an ivory-billed woodpecker? Now this bird, it sits, I'd say probably it's a foot tall. It's a foot tall. Thing's massive. Never seen one that big. This is a pileated. It's a pileated. The thing is huge. I think it like eats other woodpeckers. Okay, so I'll have to keep looking for the ivory-billed woodpecker. Who pays out $50,000 for seeing a bird? Is it like a rare or endangered species? It's the largest woodpecker. It's massive. I think it's like part pterodactyl or something. That's it, says Denise. I think the beak is longer. Oh, it's thought to be extinct. That is sad. Have those here, love them. Yeah, I like any bird that eats bugs is a friend of mine. Maybe I should have caught the woodpecker and brought him home. He probably would have eaten that bug. I bet he could have. Anyway, all right. On that note, we're going to go to lunch. I don't know what we're going to have. I have to wait for the footage to drop, and it's not dropping. I don't know why it's not being released after this. The pool footage is not being posted, which has me nervous. The Bliefnick trial. Okay, let me see what I can find. There might be some stuff. I'll dig into it. But it's time to kill the bug. It's time to eat some food, and it's time to get some lunch for you guys. And we'll see if we can come back this afternoon with more stuff. Can always just catch up on Cedric Simpson footage. Who's Cedric Simpson? Is he the football player? I don't know if he's... Oh, Cedric Simpson. That's the judge we were following before. Trials. Not seeing if he's live right now. We'll take a look. All right. Thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun. It's been fun to catch up with Sarah Boone, and as she wrote us a letter, and we got to follow that this morning. Also follow this court and get a little more video. Hopefully, we got even more as we move on. I'll do some homework and see what I can find. With that, please tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again. Hopefully, it'll be this afternoon with more video. I'm hoping. I've got my fingers crossed. It's homework time. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you later.